Okay. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. Today we'll be looking at another awesome piece from Marc Sons. A little bit about the brand. You know, they're a micro brand from Germany. They were established in 2007. You know, they feature many different styles, you know, everything from sporty to more classic, with, you know, using a lot of different types of automatic movements. So sourced from different places, but definitely all extremely well executed. So today, the type of watch we're going to look at, you know, the theme is really, it has that Marine Chronometer / deck watch look to it. Some of the key characteristics you'll notice is that, you know, the fully dial, the full Arabic numeral dial with the train track minute index, which is a very classic look. And I have to say, I was really caught off guard by the execution of this watch. You know, I've always liked deck watches and, you know, that Marine Chronometer look. But, you know, considering the price of this piece, I was just really excited. So this is their Marine automatic watch in white. It is the MSM-004. And it goes for about $270 shipped. It has a 40 millimeter diameter and a 10 millimeter height. It is a 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal and it is domed with an inner AR coating. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy in hand and really take a closer look. Okay. So one of the things I'm really hoping that the camera will capture is just how well executed this enameled dial is. I have to say I'm pretty blown away. Just the richness and the just the color, the feel, the texture. I mean, it's just you know, I can't believe that that they're able to execute this at this price point, which is pretty outstanding. Of course, very classically sized at 40 millimeters. The dial does take up, you know, most of the front of the case. It doesn't push out extremely far or anything like that. So I think it wears well. Definitely doesn't wear too big or too small. And then very nice display case back. Great shot of the leather. As you can see, it comes with a deployment clasp, which is very cool. We'll demo that here in a bit. But let's go through the rest of some of these specs. So the bezel, as you can see, is polished, fully polished, which is a nice contrast to the brushing you can see at the top of the case, and then kind of that nice vertical machining there on the actual sides of the cases. All right, the crown is, you know, it's sterile there. As you can see, it's non-signed, non-screw down, so it does turn freely for winding. The movement is a Miyota 9015, which of course is hacking and hand windable, great 4 Hz sweep, and it's just really nicely finished. You know, I mean, this is pretty standard for the 9015, but I gotta say, I wish more you know, more companies that use them would use a display back, because they're just a great looking piece. And this rotor is pretty amazing when it comes to the, I'll try to get it going, but as you can see, look at that. Really great rotor winding. Nice modern piece, you know, very efficient. Let me see if I can, there you go. I mean, gotta say, love the 9015. Great movement. And considering that the 9015 is actually going to be facing about a 30% price hike next year, I mean, finding watches at this price point, you know, under 300 US dollars that have a 9015 and with sapphire and everything, AR coated sapphire at that, enameled dial. I mean, it just blows my mind, you know. Nice leather strap. I mean, this is by no means a throwaway leather strap that you know you might be used to getting with a Seiko or something. This is actually a pretty nice strap. I mean, yeah, it's leather, it's not croc skin, but the texture is very nice, very pliable. It doesn't crease very easily or anything like that, like you might expect from a cheaper band. So I gotta say, I'm actually really impressed with this piece. So we'll take a closer look here at the dial. So it's a really nice glossy enamel white dial, and I'm really hoping that the camera can just pick that up, because the luster that the dial has is just really eye-catching. It has these very nice painted indices, and they actually, as you can see, because the light kind of hits, these aren't flat, you know, it's not like they're just printed, they are raised. So it adds a nice dimension to the dial, and it really shows the craftsmanship that Marc Sons is using, you know, to execute these pieces. I'm just really blown away. Okay, this is the no date model. There is a date model, and I believe that the date is at the 6 o'clock, but you know, it's cut out, and I just think that the non-date version is just more symmetrical and really kind of true to design, really well balanced, and I just think it looks great. The hands are blue, although not blued steel. The execution on these, I mean, as you can see, sometimes you'll notice that when hands are blued by, you know, and if they're finished blue versus actually bluing them by heat treating them, sometimes the blue can look inconsistent. But I gotta say, on these hands, it's almost like a jewel type finish, because it was just applied very nice and very thick, that I'm really trying to catch it without catching the full reflection of the lights here. But hopefully I can catch it. You can see some of the blues a little bit better there. A little bit right there. Oh, there we go. Look at that second hand. Right? As you can see, it's just the effect that's achieved is really nice. I mean, if you can't tell already, I really like this watch. Look, there you go. It just similar to the dial, right? With that kind of three-dimensional pop. It's not flat. It's not, you know, this. It just doesn't give you this feel of this mass-produced kind of stamped out piece. You know, there's care that was taken, and this watch just has those, you know, those brilliant details. You know, from far away, you know, it's just basic deck watch, you know, similar style that you'll see from a lot of brands, you know. So you can't, the good news is you can't really call this, you know, an homage to anything. It's just a common design that's been used by many different manufacturers. So it's just very clean and very well executed, I have to say. And for the price, I mean, it's pretty unbeatable, really. So there's no loom on the dial. I think, as you can already tell, just thought I'd touch on that. I do enjoy a good loom, but you know, there's really no need to have loom on this piece. Also, it is 5 atmospheres, water resistant, so you know, not the deepest. You know, you probably don't want to go swimming with this watch, but you should be fine, you know, to get some water splashed on it, whatever. Sweat on it, it's not going to be a big deal. Rinse it off. If it gets dirty, it's not going to be a huge deal. But you know, I gotta say, you know, 5 atmospheres isn't too bad. So very cool. Now the lug width, of course, very classic proportions: 40mm case, 20mm lug width. Very cool. The lug to lug is about 47mm, which isn't really that long at all. So it fits on the wrist really well. The band is a 20 millimeter non-tapering leather with the crocodile embossed strap. And it uses a very cool double deployment buckle with the push buttons here. So let's go ahead and take a look. So basically, this will pop down, and so then you feed in the end here. You find the hole you want, pop it in, bam. So it's as simple as that. And then basically you clip here first, and then you feed the tongue in, and then you go for the second click, and there you go. Very nice. And the cool thing is this really saves, you know, your strap, right? Because now you're not doing the thing where you bend it back, then back under, or anything like that. It's a lot more seamless, right? So let's go ahead and get this on wrist. And for those of you who don't have a lot of experience with deployments, I'll go ahead and demo the action here now. So I'll feed that in, and bam, there you go. So it looks like I chose the right hole. So as you can see on the wrist, I have a 7 1/4 inch wrist, and it's definitely fitting very, very nicely. You know, the lugs have a nice little turn down to them, although they're not super long or anything. You know, it does ride close to the wrist there. And I think it's just a very nice kind of contemporary size. You'll see a lot of Marine Chronometer or deck watches that are, you know, 42, 43 millimeters in diameter. And I think the 40 is really nice. You'll see also some that are 38, right? I really think that 40 is kind of that sweet spot, and it really wears nicely. And of course, you know, wristies are always going to look a little bit larger, but I think in person, it's definitely easy to see that this watch has a very nice proportion to it. Relatively low profile. I mean, that shouldn't have any problem fitting underneath a cuff. That sapphire crystal with a nice slight dome to it. Very nicely executed as well. So let's get a kind of resting wristy there. Take a look at the deployment again. Very, very fine piece. So my closing thoughts. It's definitely a great, you know, great value for money. It's under 300 US dollars. It has an enameled dial, 4 Hz movement, display case back, sapphire crystal, and extremely classic proportions, you know, so there's really not much of a compromise, right? Normally when you get a watch like this, there's some type of compromise. It's a little bit larger than you want, a little bit more expensive than you want. It doesn't have all those features that you're looking for. And this watch really just hits all the marks. And then it even has a no date option, which is great. You know, I know date's a very important feature to have, but I'd say, you know, better to have no date than one that isn't executed in the way that you like. And just you can see it catches the light there. Very cool. Okay. So, I mean, it's extremely feature rich at a cost. You know, really the only cost is, you know, the design originality. So, yeah, you're going to have great spec'd out watch, and it's a classic design, right? It's nothing innovative or cutting edge. It's just a really finely executed, you know, deck watch. And it's, I mean, that's, if you're looking for that, I'm sure you've already seen that there are watches like this that go, you know, well over $1,000 into the 2000s, you know, and then and that's, you know, some brands where you're paying a lot for the name that's on the dial, and then there's even micro brands that where you're not even getting much, right, for the premium you're paying that goes on the dial, and you're still paying, you know, double, triple the cost of this watch. So pretty crazy. As far as the model variants go, they do also offer a black dial model. Of course, date, no date, and then you can kind of choose between black, brown, or blue straps. I think the brown strap really has that classic look. So that's the one we're reviewing here today. And, you know, really comparable models, you know, really any Marine Chronometer style watch, you know, which normally those run a little bit larger. So I think this is a great option as far as something that's going to wear a little bit smaller, you know, really a sporty watch, you know, if it's an aviation watch, makes sense. A diver makes little sense for it to be kind of bulky and chunky. But I think, you know, today most people, when they would wear something like this, very simple, you know, kind of classic design, they're probably wearing it more kind of a casual or more of a dressy situation, right? They're not going to be wearing it with, you know, board shorts and headed to the beach, you know. So this watch is definitely going to fit that, you know, fit that demographic that you're looking for. So very, very cool. Love the way it plays with the light. I could probably let this video keep running just because I'm just so impressed by this piece. Marc Sons, extremely well done. Again, I think you have a, you know, another hit on your hands here with this piece. Very cool. So really the bottom line is it's a simple, well executed watch, you know, and it is extremely well executed, and it just has very versatile proportions. You know, at 20 millimeter, you could throw this on, you know, kind of a colorful NATO and kind of make it a little bit more playful. Or, you know, you can do it on, you know, another strap of maybe a vintage leather or something like that without the crocodile pattern, if that's a little bit too dressy for you. So there's just a lot of different options. And the great thing is it already comes with this 22 millimeter, you know, signed deployment buckle. So very cool, great value. So I gotta say, very impressed. So go ahead and check out Marc Sons, and definitely let me know what you guys think. I think the last Marc Sons review I did had some really great feedback. Let me know what you guys think about this piece, if it's something that you guys would consider, or maybe you already have a piece and you want to rave about it, or maybe there's another watch on the Marc Sons website that you'd like me to take a look at. Let me know in the comments. All right, guys? Thanks. Bye.